Good morning, everybody, and welcome to what I'm hoping to be something new, The Brief. And we're going to cover some very basic stuff that has to do with preppers and the news without doing shock and awe or fear porn. So, starting off with number 1 out of 5 subjects, Taiwan's national civil defense disruption amid rising China tensions. Taiwan is delivering a 32-page in case of crisis. Taiwan is delivering a 32-page in case of crisis handbook to all 10 million households, covering emergency kits, shelter protocols, and responses to enemy troops or sabotage. Explicitly preparing for potential Chinese invasion while framing it as a broad disaster readiness. This kind of echoes guides from Sweden and France post-Ukraine war. Now, why is it important to us? Well, escalating Asia-Pacific conflicts could disrupt global electronics. I don't know why my words not working. The words aren't working today. Shipping and fuel supplies, prompting stockpiling of comms gear, water purifiers, and non-perishables now. I guess that's the global reasoning behind it. But truth be told, everybody would just call this World War III because the U.S. would get involved and then China would get involved and it'd be full committal. And would that happen? Well, I can't tell you that. And I won't say go out and buy all of the electronics you can right now. What I can tell you is that it is Cyber Monday, and if you're interested in doing some of that stuff, there's a link down there where you can go and save some money. And that's all I'm going to say on it. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So maybe go get a few more things. Also, since they make all the chips and China might pull something, I'm just saying here. Someone alluded to me this morning that you should have your radios charged up today. Don't know why. I'm just regurgitating it. It's not something I do very often, but the guy's pretty reputable. All right, going on to number 2. Rare November sudden stratospheric warning, also known as an SSW, event threatening the polar vortex collapse. Now, I'm gonna throw a little science at you here, but it's just take a breath, sip your coffee. Here, hold on, just take a breath, sip your coffee, and listen to what I got to say here. So there is a historic sudden stratospheric warming. So the warming of the stratosphere very suddenly, okay, also known as the SSW. It is underway. One of the few in 70 years. Now, it's projected to weaken the polar vortex and trigger extreme U.S.-Canada cold snaps. Heavy snow disrupted. It's going to disrupt patterns into November, and it's kind of mirroring past events with these prolonged Arctic blasts. Now, why is it important to us? Well, we could expect possible power grid strain because we're really cranking up on the heaters. Traveling halts because airplanes can't take off and land in major cold stuffs. That whole de-icing thing. The FAA really put the kibosh on that when we started losing planes for bad de-icing protocols. And heating shortages. Now, we probably need to prioritize insulated shelters, backup generators, and at least a 72-hour cold weather kit for urban/rural vulnerabilities. During the wintertime, heat is always the biggest prep. It's the most expensive. It's the hardest to maintain. You can't just put a wood stove out the window in your apartment, or could you? Something to think about. But basically, the predictions of a cold winter, they seem to be coming true. So just FYI, be prepared, have a plan. All right, number 3, global governments updating preparedness guidance for cyber threat and supply instability. Now, nations like Ireland, Finland, and basically the NATO allies, they're issuing new alerts on cyber risks. I got to scroll this up here. Basically like the Shai Hulan malware attack, via like NPM or GitHub, excuse me, energy shortages and chain breakdowns. And they're kind of urging household resilience over state reliance. Isn't that special? All these socialist countries that are aligned with NATO, and they're like, yeah, don't worry about us saving you. You need to be more resilient yourself. Isn't that special? Isn't that special? Now, why we should think about this is, attacks could black out grids or halt food deliveries. If anything, you should focus on Faraday bags for devices, maybe offline skill building, things like, manual water filtration and diversified local food sources. Don't depend on the local Wally World. No, I don't work there, because they will fail you. They have a track record of failing you every single time something goes bad. And we start talking about cyber attacks. We can't live without our phones. We can't. We'll die. No, I mean, you might, but I'm not going to die. Anyway, I think you're getting my point. So just kind of be aware that there are some cyber issues out there, and that the other countries are kind of like, they don't tell people to think about it unless they want them to think about it, and for good reason. All right, number 4, escalating East Asia tensions with China/Japan military posturing near Taiwan. Sharp diplomatic exchanges and adjusted forces signal heightened risks of blockade or conflict, compounding Ukraine peace leaks that highlight negotiating uncertainties and broader geopolitical shifts. And why this is something we might want to think about? Well, trade routes for rice, tech companies, and meds could have a problem. And we should audit foreign dependent supplies and build community barter networks for essentials like antibiotics. Hint, hint, link in description. And let's see here, number 5. I'm just not going to go too far into that one, because the truth is that's World War III talk, and this is not doom porn. It never has been. It never will be. Number 5, the U.S. food insecurity surge and community-led party responses to aid cuts. What are we talking about? We're talking about how, the government shut down and people weren't getting their checks, that kind of thing. So, with that said, rising shortages that are actually projected to worsen this year due to climate and economic pressures, have kind of sparked some grassroots efforts like Pittsburgh's front yard food pantries, and also it's kind of in the middle of the SNAP reductions, because believe it or not everything got turned all the way back to 11, guys, with the SNAP program. There was a lot of fraud that was identified while this whole thing went down, and so now there's going to be reductions in that SNAP. And then, obviously now with the NFL donations, but why preppers should care about this, it kind of signals a deeper scarcity, maybe ramp up long-term shelf life storage, kind of like maybe some freeze-dried meals, or start to think about gardening setups. Yes, you can do them indoors. If you've got a window, or you can just buy a light, put some tap water in there and grow some stuffs. But also, maybe some neighborhood alliances to avoid reliance on strained systems. If you think about it, what if we all just stopped relying on all of these systems that make our lives easier? Yeah. The system would be there and available to people who truly needed it, and we would not be reliant on our government at all. As usual, and give me a second because I don't have it pulled up right now, silver spot. In the future, I will definitely have it pulled up. Today's silver spot price is, where are we at? Why did it do this? $57.71, and the market opened an hour ago. Gold is up at $4,245.90. Oh my God. And if you want to find out about other stuffs, Well, you guys need to look it up. But I'm going to start telling you guys what the gold and silver prices are during this type of informational. Okay, guys, if you got this far, do me a favor, put the thumbs up in the chat or just give it the thumbs up. Also, if you have questions, comments, concerns, put that in the comments. I would really love to hear from you on this one. Don't be slackers. Don't be slackers. If you like it, I'll keep doing it. If you don't, I won't. It's just that easy. All right, guys, as usual, until the next time, stay vigilant. Bye-bye.